I'll give you love, the things you want. Ooh, I will do anything for you. I will do anything for you. I will do anything, girl, anything for you. Do what I'm on my server this week. We are in the Jaecoo J7 Glacier and we're gonna have a conversation. And then when If you are interested in the Jaecoo J7 and are looking for insurance in it, click the link in my description box, which will lead you to the Hippo website, where you can compare up to 12 different insurance quotes. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You can get your results in minutes and you can compare and choose the insurance quote that suits you best. Look at that billboard. That is the Jaecoo. Hi, Jaecoo. So let's get started with the exterior of the Jaecoo J7. So for me, the Jaecoo J7 is very pretty. Very, very pretty. So if you guys don't know, they have a bit of a JV, which is a joint venture with Jaguar Land Rover. So that's why you guys pick up a lot of Velar or Evoque kind of inferences in terms of the design. You know, you're picking up a lot of that design culture is translated into this vehicle. You have this large grille and these nice thin LED headlamps, number of fog lights as well, which I find to be nice. I find this car to be very pretty up front. You know, these large side mirrors makes it look like it has ears. Like when I looked at it in front, it looks like it has these big ears. So I like the side mirrors as well. Very beautiful car. I mean, it also has these nice, I think they're 18-inch wheels with red calipers on it, giving it a bit of a more sportier look. And also when you move on to the rear, it gives me a lot of Velar vibes as opposed to the Evoque. I feel like this is more of the Velar, inspired by the Velar. But this is a beautiful car. I love this color as well. So for me, the exterior, they knocked it out the park. It looks really, really good. Now moving on to the interior. That's where things get quite interesting as well. But the interior is quite nice. You do have a Sony sound system that's fitted in this vehicle. You know, you have a multifunction steering wheel. This large 15, 17-inch Lenovo ThinkPad. Oh my gosh, like this one. But we'll get into that in the verdict. But this is like an odd 14 inches. This infotainment system screen that has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality. All the functions are in here. Also your climate controls as well. Wireless charging bay, 2 cup holders, this really cool futuristic gear lever. You know, your different drive modes are also here. I love how the center console is raised, so it gives me a bit of an armrest. Very happy about that. You have your instrument cluster as well. The graphics are quite nice. It looks really good. I mean, even with this big Stuamalapa screen, it looks quite good. You've also got heads-up display. You've got a panoramic sunroof. You've got a little bit of ambient lighting as well happening on the dash in the front. So the car looks really, really nice. I think the interior for me is quite nice. You've got electric seats as well. Very well equipped. And this car, what I love about it is that it's very spacious. Like, honale space. It's very, very spacious. It's very, very spacious. So it's quite a spacious car. It's nice to be in. The sound system is also quite decent. You know, very ergonomically. I think we'll get into that a bit later in the verdict. But it is a proper car. And I think the interior for me is quite nice. So yeah, I like the interior as well. So what is powering the Jaecoo J7? So the J7 is powered by a 1.6 liter turbo petrol engine that produces 145 kilowatts, 290 Newton meters of torque, and is mated to a 7-speed DCT. And this one is front wheel drive. So if you want all wheel drive, you have to go all the way up to the Inferno model. This one is the mid-spec Glacier model. So it's front wheel drive. A lot of wheel spin, especially when you're getting off from standstill. Also need a little bit of input onto the accelerator to get the car to move. However, once in motion, it is proper. I actually commend this 1.6. I prefer this 1.6. They did it quite nicely. This 1.6 liter, the power outputs are there, gear changes are quite there. However, it's just on standstill that they just need to refine, because you need to accelerate quite a bit. The car will jerk and jump a little bit. Same with reversing sometimes. So it's very temperamental. So it has a mind of its own. However, it's not terrible. In terms of fuel consumption, I'm doing 8.3 liters per 100 Ks, and I'm surprised that I got a Chinese car to be at under 10 liters per 100 Ks. So that's nice. But the drive for me it's not terrible. On highway driving, it's fine. It really is fine. Drives very nicely. City driving as well, very beautiful. There's not it's not fussy in terms of when you're driving it. It's not a cumbersome drive. Very smooth, nice gear changes. So very much impressed with. Why is this thing fogging? It just fogged up. But anyway. But for me, the drive, very commendable. And like I said earlier, this 1.6 liter is a step in the right direction. Let's get into the verdict. What does maseve think of the Jaecoo J7? So there's two problems for me with the J7. First thing is this infotainment system screen. It's overkill. It's a bit much for me. I mean, this is just overbearing. Like, this is too much. But however, it's a new technology, so it's quite welcomed. I think it's quite cool, but for me, I can't live with something like this because it's messing up with my eyes, man. Like, you look at these big screen decals and whatever, then you move to the digital cluster and it's small and I have to squint or I have to do like, you know, like choose masketela, like can't be vinke vongo everywhere, you know. So the screen for me is a bit jarring and it's a bit overbearing. And with everything being in here, I do get a bit anxious as to if something were to happen to it, will it not affect the whole vehicle? So it's just the size of the screen also that's just overpowering me, like, yo, guys. And the other thing is the constant beeping and bonging. However, that's not really a big problem because you can turn off the safety aids and however, because even as you're driving, you could be looking straight onto the road. It says you're distracted. You're not looking at the thing for too long. Hey, what. So it's anxiety inducing, for the lack of a better term. It makes me a bit anxious, but that's quite fine. Other than that, I think the J7 is proper. It's very nice. So the J7 basically, well, Jaecoo is part of Chery, right? So it's Chery or Moda and then Jaecoo, or whatever hierarchy you guys choose. Now Jaecoo is a mashup of the word Jaeger and what? And cool. So very cool vibes, off-road. I think when we went to the launch or the preview of this car, I think it was 2 years ago, they said to us this is the more adventure part of Chery, or the Chery and Moda group. So this is the more luxurious one. This is the adventure one, like your cool vibes, you know, your off-roader, your individualistic person, the person who loves doing outdoorsy things. This is the car that is aimed at that person. So I mean, they just have one model for now, and I think the J7, they knocked it out the park. This is a stunning product, okay? It has its flaws, especially with the things I've mentioned with the drive, but as a package, it's something I can fully vouch for. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention that I don't like, this rear view mirror. So this rear view mirror has this kind of like hollow look to it, so it's a bit distorted, but that's... Anyway. So the J7 is priced at, for this one, the mid-spec Glacier model, is priced at 599,900, so 600,000 rand. And I think that is a bargain. When we look at other cars, guys, I think 600,000 rand gets you a Polo GTI at the most. Not necessarily a fully fledged SUV, because when I think of the other cars, think of a Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage, VW Tiguan, you know, cars from legacy brands. They're already breaching 700,000 rand, and you still have to spec in some extras. So this is coming in at a very, very competitive pricing. However, I've noticed that I think a lot of people are leaning more. I haven't seen a lot of Jaekoos on the road. I see more of the Chery, the Moda C5, and Chery product as well, like your Tiggo 7s and your Tiggo 8s. But this is actually quite good. The one thing that is also impressing me a lot is just the feel of the quality of everything. The leather, the panels, like it's very solid. It's a very solid car. So I wish to see a bit more of these. It's a very proper car. Obviously, not to mention the things that I said that I don't like. But those are a bit few. However, if you can, and if you are someone who is really invested in driving pleasure, try and get the all-wheel drive. Yes, it might affect your fuel consumption a bit because all-wheel drive does chow a bit more fuel, but this front-wheel drive and this jerkiness, it makes me frass a bit, and so I would definitely just up the ante and go to the I think there's an 80,000 rand difference or 100,000 rand difference. I can show, but that is a lot. So if you feel like this is not the all-wheel drive is not what you need, this is fine. You'll be fine with this one. So for me, ultimately, I think the Jaecoo J7 is a step in the right direction. They engineered it well. They manufactured it well. It's a beautiful car. What time is it? It's 7 a.m. Emails are coming in. Oh, Lord, CR7. Just heard my phone beep. So, yeah. I think it's a proper car. What is my rating? I'll give this a 7.5. I'll give this a 7.5 because it's all those little nitty-gritty refinement things that they need to get right. So anyway, I'm stuck in traffic, so might as well. I'm joking. But I'll give it a 7.5. I think this is a step in the right direction. This engine, they did very well with it. They tried their best. However, just a little bit of refinement needed. Just a bit of norox, beef stews, beef stock cupunyana, vusta sousu, just something to just make this powertrain better than what it is now. But as a package, as a car, it's great. I love the boot space as well. Might be a bit compromised because you have a full spare wheel in there. However, for me it will work. For a person who has no dog, no man, no cat, it will work. Kiwa animal. So I don't need the boot space. I don't need crazy boot space. So I think it's fine. So I think a 7.5 rating is fair, and because the reason why it's also scoring quite high is because of the price. Very competitive pricing. So, kudos to Jaecoo. Kudos to Jaecoo. That's it from me, maseve. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you think about the Jaecoo J7. Do you like? Do you not like? Would you buy it? Would you not buy it? And how are you spending 599,000 rand? I am stuck in traffic. I'm supposed to drive 25 kilometers to radio. 25 kilometers to radio. And it's going to take me an hour. Vinnige verkeer op Jacaranda FM is the only thing that's ringing in my mind, because every time that bulletin came up, I knew that, it's off. That's where I learned about Gilulis, by the way, on Jacaranda FM. So shout out to Jacaranda FM. But I'm not even going to touch Gilulis. Mara wa traffic ya mo, guys. And the robot to dia bereka mara ebo feel. So. You can leave early, ne? Mara still. Hey, traffic is on, and there's nothing you can do. The taxi, the tamaka, molekamo, yo. South Africa. Oh, okay. Anyway, that was a long outro, and now I'm venting, guys. I haven't eaten. I haven't even had coffee, because I had to make sure that I get to the station on time. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.